Parents, do you control everything your children do? Do you control every detail and every aspect of your child's life? And sometimes you feel frustrated, sometimes you feel overwhelmed. Yes, I'm here to tell you that you can learn to do things better. Now, sometimes this control might feel so heavy for you. Sometimes it might even lead to burnout. Sometimes it might even lead you to feel so tired. You know, sometimes you're not able to manage your emotions because you're in charge, you're in control of every detail of your child's life. I'm here to tell you that you can learn to do it better. Now, you must learn to surrender your control to God. You must learn to surrender your control to the creator of your child. Now, surrendering control doesn't mean neglect. When you surrender your control to God, it doesn't mean you're neglecting your child. It just means that you're trusting God to guide you through the process. It just means that while you're doing the work, while you're putting in everything you need to put in, the knowledge you're acquiring, the learning, definitely you don't sit down and allow God to do everything. You have to seek for knowledge. You have to read books. You have to attend courses. You have to learn from coaches and mentors. You have to go out there to intentionally seek for knowledge. While you do that, you also invite God into your process. You also invite God to help you through the outcome, because we must learn to release control as parents. When you learn to release control to God, it helps you to be less stressed. A lot of us are stressed, a lot of us are overwhelmed. We have a lot of things doing. Yes, it's okay to learn, it's okay, very beautiful to get the process and everything, to learn what you need to learn. But while you do it, you can also learn to walk this journey with God, because God is the creator of your child. And who is the better person to walk this journey with you if not God, if not the Holy Spirit, who is the creator? The creator of a thing has the manual of that thing. Just like when you buy your phone, you go through the manual. The creator of anything has the manual, knows the process and everything, every detail about that product. That is the same way we must learn to trust God. God is the creator of your child. God is your own creator. Has it ever occurred to you that you need to invite him into your process? As you raise your children, you're not meant to do it alone. When you do it alone, you feel stressed. When you do it alone, you feel burnt out. When you do it alone, it affects every area of your life. Sometimes you might just be living. You might just be living. You're just surviving and not thriving. When we learn to invite God, when we learn to trust in God in our process, in raising our children, it helps us to make better decisions. It also helps us to be more connected with our children, because you've learned to release control to God. So you're better connected. Emotionally, you're more stable. You know that things are under control. So we must learn as parents to release our control, learn to invite God into your process as you raise your child. So what are some of the strategies? What are the things we can begin to do on a daily basis to invite God into our process, not to feel overwhelmed, for us not to feel burnt out, for us to relinquish this control or surrender to God? Number one, you must first of all identify your control points. So write down where you feel control over your child. Write those things that you know you just feel control, like you just feel, I need to do this, I am in charge of this. You need to first of all identify those areas, those aspects, because the truth is that for us to solve anything, you must first of all be aware of what the problem is. You must first of all be aware of the challenge. So what are those areas that you feel you're so in charge, that you feel if you're not there, nobody else can do it? What are those areas that you're so in control and it's making you to feel burnt out? It's making you to feel stressed. It's making you to feel frustrated. It's making you to feel overwhelmed. Can you first of all identify those control points? Because the truth is that when you identify those points, it gives you an idea. You're aware that, okay, these are the areas I need to work on. So control point is different for everyone. So as a parent, you're listening to me. What are those control points? What are those points you control so much in the life of your child that it's making you to feel burnt out, that you know you can relinquish to God, that you know you can invite God into the process? So the first step is for you to identify those control points. Then the second step is to pray and reflect. Ask God to guide you through these areas. After you must have identified these control points, these points that you feel, oh, you're so attached to it, these points that make you feel burnt out, that make you feel stressed, overwhelmed, you must learn to ask God to guide you through these areas. You must learn to invite God into the process. When you invite God into the process, you're able to make better decisions. Most times when we invite God into our process, God guides you. You see, you just get proper direction on who to speak to, on a mentor to speak to, a coach to speak to, on someone to speak to that can help you navigate through that process. When you invite God into that process, remember to also reflect. It is very important for us to reflect on our process. It is important for us to journal. Have a time, just have a conversation, reflect through your process. Then the next thing we can do to relinquish control, not to feel burnt out, to surrender control and find freedom in God, is to teach responsibility. We must teach our children responsibility. While we do the work, we must invite God. And while we invite God, we must put in the work so much. We must teach our children responsibility. And how can you teach responsibility as a parent? Give your children age-appropriate chores. Don't say this child is still young. This child is still little. Oh, this child is still a baby. This child cannot do it. The truth is that every child, including your baby, has a chore that he or she can do. Every child, including your baby, has a chore that he or she can do. So give your child age-appropriate chores. Don't be the one always stepping in for the child. Your child spills water on the floor, you step in and you get a mop and mop it. Your child finish having their breakfast, you step in, you take the plate and go to wash it. Give your child age-appropriate chores. There are age-appropriate chores every child can do. When you do that, you build responsibility in your child. When you do that, you make your child understand that there is something called responsibility and accountability. When your children finish playing with their toys, it's their responsibility to pack it up, not you, the parent. So we must give our children age-appropriate chores. And when they don't do these chores, after you must have communicated it to them over and over again, both of you agree on a consequence. Agree on a consequence they are going to face for not doing their chores. Sometimes allow natural consequence to happen. Sometimes when you tell your children some things and they don't do it, sometimes you might just see natural consequence. Sometimes if those natural consequences is not going to hurt the child, is not going to harm the child in any way, sometimes allow them to go through these natural consequences. It helps them to build their responsibility quotient. It helps them to be more responsible. So one of the ways you can learn to surrender control and gain freedom is to teach your children responsibility by giving them age-appropriate chores and allowing consequences, natural consequences, allowing them to go through their consequence. Then the other thing we can do as parents is to celebrate our growth. So we must learn to celebrate our growth. You must get comfortable with celebrating your growth. So as a parent, notice improvement in your children. When you notice those little efforts they are making, learn to pick it out. Learn to point it out and celebrate their growth. Celebrate their process. Don't wait till your child has gotten everything figured out. Provided the child has moved from step A to step B, learn to celebrate the growth of your child. Learn to celebrate the process. Rather than focusing on the end result, focus on the process. Do you know that the process is the journey? The process is the beauty. When you focus on the process, your child learns a lot. When you focus on the process, you teach your child that process matters. But when you ignore the process and wait for just the outcome, you teach your child that you can get anything. The outcome is what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in the process. And you can see how it can have a ripple effect on your child. Probably in making decisions, the child forgets about the process. All the child is interested is in the outcome, because we as parents, or some of us as parents, don't model celebrating the process. So we must learn to celebrate the process. You must learn to celebrate the progress. Your child has moved from step A to step B. Learn to celebrate it. Don't wait till the child has everything 100%. The child has everything figured out. No. And we must intentionally teach our children that the process is as important as the outcome. The process is as important as the outcome. So those are the things we must learn to do as parents. So we must learn to relinquish our control to God. We must learn to thrive. If we must be free as parents, if we must experience freedom, we must learn to relinquish our control to the source, to God, who is the maker of your child. The truth is that our children will learn to grow more confident, more independent, with more clarity when they can see that we as parents are focused more on the process, when they can see that this journey, we are walking this journey alongside with God. So I want to encourage you as a parent, don't carry the burden alone. Don't carry the burden alone. You have help. You have God there to help you. And I'm not here to leave us alone. I have a beautiful resource coming out. It's called Rooted and Rewired. And in this book, Rooted and Rewired, you're going to learn as a parent how you can be rooted to your source, how you can be rewired to your source, which is God. And you know, when you're rooted, when you're rewired and reconnected to your source, it helps you to be a better person. It helps you to be a better parent. It helps you to parent your children better. It helps you to be available. It helps you to be more connected to your children. It also helps your children to thrive, because as you become better, your children will also become. So get a copy of my upcoming book called Rooted and Rewired. Click on the link attached to this video and you're going to get more information on how you can get a copy of my upcoming book, Rooted and Rewired. Just reply to this comment, just say free, and you're going to get a free sample of a session of my upcoming book called Rooted and Rewired, and start to walk your journey of freedom. Start to walk your journey of being rooted, of being rewired and reconnected to your source. Thank you very much. I believe this video has been helpful. It's been helpful to me as well. Please like this video. Please share this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel called The Renewed Parent Academy. And my name is Chioma Odikulu. Thank you for your time. I do not take your time for granted. Do have a great day till I come your way next time. Bye.